love, universal wisdom, shine your love on us. Beautiful souls, unity in love, spirit and angels watching over us.
Hello, welcome to Mystic Mindfulness. I'm Christine. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am in a really good mood, so I'm a little giddy, and I've just been kind of off in my own, mental space, moseying around up there, pondering some things, and I wanted to invite you to join me on this journey today with the ponderings of Christine. I think that's probably what I'll call this video. I went and seen the movie After Death recently, and I found it to be so very fascinating and very cool. And the reason for that is the scientific evidence that shows that the experiences that they have out of body are certain, very certain. There's evidence with this, and I'll in the beginning of the movie, the scientist who's doing the studies and the research is very, very skeptical, and so I think that really puts a lot of credence and weight into the fact that with evidence, these experiences can be proven as they were proven to be dead, and that they could come back to life in what we call life here in this realm. It's all life, right? But they come back to what we call as living, and they've experienced things in the hospitals that they shouldn't have known if they were technically dead. And then the further experiences that they had beyond this realm, obviously we can't prove that as evidence, but the fact that people have had similar experiences, they can I guess because of the fact that they were out of body, they had knowledge of things that they shouldn't have had knowledge of, and then they come back and they all have similar experiences. That has credence, there's weight to that. So I find that all to be very, very fascinating. And I was thinking about, again, like I always do, because most of my channel is about leaving religion and, of course, healing through that. It's important for me to stay skeptical, have a healthy skepticism, to always remain curious and never put too much weight in an attachment to a belief unless that belief has evidence to back it. And I came across, because I'm on Facebook, I came across a quote, and I'm not going to quote it verbatim, but it's from Assertive Spirituality. It's their post. And I loved it because I've been kind of saying this all along myself, but everyone has a right to their opinion. And opinions are just opinions. There's no strong evidence to support an opinion. It's when you start spreading that opinion as though it's a fact, you become a liar. And if you know that there's no evidence to back it, then not only are you a liar, but also being fraudulent at the same time. And that's my perspective on religion, because religion teaches that you must believe things on faith. Just go on faith. And I think that's pretty irresponsible. So I really admire when people have evidence to back the things that they do believe. So love science and love history. Everything that we have an opinion about, just be open-minded. I think that's one of the things too that I'm very cautious about, is because I do have beliefs, and yet I don't want to get too stuck on those beliefs, because this is exactly what brought me out of religion in the first place. Was I was so founded and attached to this religion, or the idea of this belief, that it had to be true, and then you find out it's not true, and it shatters your foundation for what you actually believe. So either way, I want to be very open-minded and have a healthy sense of skepticism, and continue researching and studying things, and just go, okay, well, this is my personal belief, and as long as I'm talking about it as a personal belief and not teaching it and spreading it out like it's an absolute fact. And of course, if there's enough evidence of proof for it, then we can say, yeah, science has proven this as a fact. So I wanted to get into the near-death experiences and what I have found. Okay, so I didn't believe in hell, and the reason for that, I don't believe in an eternal hell, because it's been proven that there's in the early ancient texts before the Bible was written, where they grabbed the ancient text where they pulled the Bible and wrote it. Okay, so there's no word eternal in conjunction with hell ever in the original text. So there's evidence for that. So I don't believe that hell is eternal. The near-death experiences, and it wouldn't be real science if we were just, experiencing, or we were only talking about the ones who experienced heaven, right? We have to also talk about the ones who are experiencing hell, if it's going to be true science. So we can see that, I think what I had read is about 23, and it might be also posted in the movie, about 23% of people who have near-death experiences have an experience of hell. So when we talk about, or when I talk about, okay, I didn't believe in hell, now I believe in hell, what does that actually mean? So does science prove that there's a hell? Or are scientists just proving that these near-death experiences have experienced a hell? So if you can experience hell in death or in afterlife, it means that it exists in some realm. The other thing I found fascinating is that they don't stay there, and that by their own consciousness, they are able to get out. Pretty much everything I have read, and in the movie, by their own consciousness, they were able to get out. So then you go, okay, well, I go, this is what I think. My brain's going, so it's like, this is where my ponderings are at. So then I have to think, okay, it doesn't prove that there is a reality, like an actual reality of hell. It also doesn't prove that there's an actual reality of heaven, although we can experience these things. And if you look at like quantum physics, even the stuff that we are experiencing here appears to be real, but it's not real. So truly it's just our conscious state of being, and with evidence we can corroborate stories and experiences and go, okay, well, these experiences are based on scientific evidence. There's a fact for this. But it doesn't necessarily say, and I not even necessarily, it absolutely does not say that the biblical or the religious view of hell is actually real, because I think the Bible is missing some very clear evidence. And it's just, it's missing the mark on a lot of things. So does hell exist in a realm of consciousness? Yes. There's another question. Are we creating our own conscious states of being? So, you know, we have to consider that too. Question everything. Be skeptical. Look at all avenues. And like, it would be very easy for somebody who wasn't curious and who wasn't skeptical and who wasn't asking these questions about, does hell really exist? And if it does, why? And what is hell? And there's so many more questions to be asked about that. But you go into a movie like that with a concept that hell does exist from a biblical standpoint, and you're automatically going to walk out of the theater going, oh, well, that just proves that hell exists, right? That it's a real concept. And in the aspect of science, with the people who are all experiencing this, it seems that it is reality for at least these individuals who've experienced it. And if there's more than one person who's experienced it, then yes, that would have some pretty heavy weight to the idea that there is a type of hell. But then the other questions are we creating it with our own consciousness, if we can pull ourselves out of it through consciousness? I don't know, some pretty fascinating concepts to consider, and not just be so stuck on one thought or one idea and then wrap a belief around it. And I have my beliefs. I do. They're based more on spirituality, and I think that spirituality and science should link. I mean, I don't think you should have some type of belief that's not founded on some type of evidence. You can do whatever you want, just don't teach it. But it, you know, for myself personally, I like to have some science and history and some good solid foundation to back it up. But then again, because science is always growing and always learning new things, there's still the question of how, and there's the question of why. So yes, there's evidence to prove these experiences, but yeah, there's still more questions to ask. And I think that if we get too wrapped up with a closed mind and go, well, this is the evidence and this is all I'm going to believe, and then go around teaching or preaching it or whatever, you've again put yourself in a closed state and you're creating a new religion. So yeah, just always stay curious and be skeptical, and study more science and history and theology, and you know, just whatever you choose to believe. I really recommend to have evidence to follow that. And I also recommend the movies. So if you're interested in near-death experiences, definitely go see the movie. It's a great movie. Want to make sure I'm not missing anything here. Yes, so I was also thinking today, is spirituality religion? Because a lot of people found some groups on Facebook where people have left religion and are now spiritual, like I would consider myself to be. What makes a religion? What is religion? What is spirituality? And the way I perceive religion is when you have a dogma, like a set system of rules that you have to agree to in order to be a member. And then if you don't believe or follow this set system of rules, then you can be kicked out. That to me is religion, or a cult, I guess. Either way, I don't know. They're to me one and the same. As far as spirituality goes, if you look up the definition of spirituality, it means that you're looking beyond this realm and considering outside of this realm, looking at the bigger picture. And in that aspect, that's probably the true definition of spirituality. Spirituality to me also means not only am I looking outside of this realm and looking beyond, but I'm also experiencing things that, like the paranormal or the metaphysical, things that aren't in this realm as well, things that can't be explained necessarily in this realm, and yet it can be proven as evidence that yes, people are having these experiences, these spiritual experiences that can't be explained. So that to me is spirituality. Religion would say, well, I'm spiritual and I'm having these experiences that are outside of this realm, and therefore there is a definitive God, or therefore whatever, just making a solid statement that these experiences are because of. And I think, again, we need to have a very healthy skepticism and stay curious, because just because people are having these experiences, it doesn't mean we know why or how. It just means these experiences have proof of evidence. So just stay open-minded, stay very open-minded. Then is science and spirituality connected? And I think they can be. I think they should be. And science is proving more and more the aspect of spirituality, if you're looking at spirituality as something beyond what we consider our reality here. And again, I've mentioned this already in this video. If you're looking at quantum physics, what we think is reality here, this isn't real either. So what is real? It's our conscious state of being. And that's all we have. That's all we can go on. So let's see. Things that I find fascinating. Quantum physics has proven that there's other states of being, other realms, multi-dimensions. Science is proving collective consciousness. It's showing proof of near-death experiences. It is showing evidence for channeling and mediumship, that these events actually do take place. But again, we still have to stay open-minded and ask why and how. And we might not ever have an answer for that. So don't build an absolute religion on things we don't have any proof of evidence for, as far as it goes with the how and the why. So yes, these experiences are happening. There's evidence for that. But don't get caught up in it and just be like, there it is. That's the religion. So anyway, that's my ponderings today. Thank you for going on this journey with me through my ponderings. I hope you've enjoyed it. Stay curious. I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day.